to show you how I make my speedy chili con carne. Now I do alter my ingredients around slightly, but first I will show you what I always use in my chili, and then I'll show you what I do mix up sometimes. So I am using the pork mince, which majority of the time is what I do use. It's the less than 5% fat one. I can't tell the difference when making the chili whether it's pork or beef mince in there, and that one's already in the fridge, so I'm using that. You'll need 500 grams of that. Chopped tomatoes, a tin of them, they're speed, a tin of the red kidney beans, which are free in protein, some salt and some pepper, just a little sprinkling of the cayenne chili pepper, 1 teaspoon of ground coriander, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 1 teaspoon of paprika. Now it's 2 cloves of garlic, however I just use this lazy garlic and I use 2 teaspoons. Some chopped chilli, it says 2 chillies and I just use a heaped teaspoon of chilli in it. You can just alter that to whatever your spice level is. Need 600 mils of the, not 600 mils, sorry, 300 mils of beef stock using 1 beef oxo cube and a tablespoon of the tomato puree. Now things that I do mix up a bit, I'll always have my mushrooms in, so mushrooms are speed, and I always have some chopped onions in as well, which is speed, and I just use the frozen ones, and I've just got one of these pots full. And in this one I am going to put in some peppers, which is speed, and I always grate in a carrot and a courgette. I grate it up, you can't taste it in there, but it is added speed and it does really bulk it out, and a leek as well. So I am going to grate the carrot and the courgette and dice the leek and slice up the mushrooms, and then I will show you what I do next. So I've chopped my mushrooms, made my stock up, so there's 300 ml of beef stock there, grated the carrot and courgette, diced up the leek, and I've just popped it in with the onions because I will be cooking that at the same time as the onions. And I've took all the lids off the tins. So we are ready to start cooking. Also as well, I use a ½ teaspoon measurer. That looks a bit strange on camera, but I use a ½ teaspoon measurer, and it's just so I find it a lot easier to fit in the tops of these. These ones are alright with the teaspoon ones, but I struggle to get my teaspoon in them. So I use a ½ teaspoon, so I'll obviously be doubling my quantity when I put it in to make it up to the right amount. So yeah, let's get cooking. I also forgot to mention you will need some fry light as well. So I've popped my pan on number 5 and I'm just going to spray it with some fry light. My pan is not the best non-stick pan, despite paying a fortune for them, they're not the best. So I've put the fry light in, I'm just going to wait for that to heat up, and once it's heated up I'm going to start off by just frying off the mushrooms, no not the mushrooms, sorry, the onions and the leeks. So now the fry light is heated up, I'm just going to pop in the onions and leeks, and I'm just going to fry these until these have softened up, and it doesn't take long. With them being frozen onions, it doesn't take as long as when you're using the fresh ones. Now just keep moving about. If you find that they do start to stick, then just add a little bit of water and it'll just help them stop sticking along the way. And I'm just going to do this for just a few minutes. So now the onions and leeks have softened, I'm going to pop in my pork mince. Let's take the paper off, I don't think that tastes too nice in it. And I'm just going to break the pork mince up using my spoon. You just want to fry this for about 6 to 8 minutes, or just until it's all browned off. It really doesn't take too long. And once again, if you're finding it does start to stick, just keep moving it about a little bit, because even though it is the less than 5% mince, it will start to give a little bit of juice in there. So I'm just going to make sure it's all broken up nicely, and then stir through the onions properly as well. I like doing this recipe because it's filling and it is full of speed, so if you just want this for chips, you've not got to worry about adding anything else to your plate, because you've got plenty of speed in it. And by putting things in it like the carrot and the courgette, you bulk it out so it actually goes further as well. I'm slightly concerned that it might not all fit in this pan. I sometimes do it in my bigger pan, but I just thought for ease of filming it was a lot easier to see the angle of this one. So I'm just going to keep frying this off until it is all fully browned, and then I will catch up with you to show you what's next. Now that is nearly all browned off, I'm just going to add in my chopped mushrooms just to give these a little bit longer to cook through. You know, obviously mushrooms do reduce in size as well while they're cooking, so it makes a bit more room for getting everything else in. Let's give this a good mix up. Already the smell is lovely from the onions and the leeks. That's all a good mix in. And I'm also going to add in my carrot and courgette in a moment. Which has got all a good mix in. So I'm just going to add in my carrot and courgette. When you eat this, you wouldn't actually think that the carrot and courgette is in it, but it really does help bulk it out. So I'm going to give this a really good mix up. Cook this for probably another 3 to 4 minutes, and then jump back on and show you the next stage. Oh, just turn the extractor off. Right, so that's been cooking for about 3 minutes. I'm just going to chuck in my peppers. Mix them in. So it will look like this once you've mixed it all in. I don't know if I can angle that any better. Where are we? Up here. So that's all mixed in. And that is what that looks like. Now we're going to add in the spices. Here it's bubbling. Oh man, I've turned it up on 7. So in there you're going to want your garlic. So it's 2 cloves of garlic. So it's 2 teaspoons of garlic. I'm just going to use a normal teaspoon, and I don't know if I've got enough in here. I'm just going to use what I've got in. So 2 teaspoons of garlic, a good teaspoon of chillies. I mean, that's quite a big teaspoon of chilli. I do like my chilli with a bit of a kick, not too spicy, but a little bit of a kick. A little sprinkle of the cayenne. So you're going to want 2 teaspoons of cumin. So like I said, I am using a half teaspoon. So I'm going to put 4 half teaspoons in. 1, 2, 3, 4. A teaspoon of ground coriander. So 2 of them, and a teaspoon of paprika. Oh, the smell is really smelling good now. And I am just going to give that a good stir up and just carry on frying that off for 2 to 3 minutes, just to let the herbs and spices work their way through the mix. And then I will come back and show you what's next. So that's been frying away for 3 minutes, and I'm going to add in now some salt and pepper. You can always add more salt and pepper at the end once you taste it and see if it's to the seasoning that you like. Add in the tin of chopped tomatoes, a tablespoon of tomato puree. I always do a heaped tablespoon as well. And then the last thing to add in for the time being is the beef stock. So I'm just going to pour this in and give this a really good mix up. Being careful not to throw it everywhere. I really do need a higher sided pan, I think, for this batch cooking. Make sure you break all that tomato puree and then just make sure it's all stirred round evenly, well mixed in. Then you're going to bring this to a simmer, well, to a boil, and then reduce it down to a simmer. Leave it for about 20 minutes, half an hour, just until your juices in here have just reduced and it's just thickened up slightly. And then I will come back and show you the end stage. So, like I said, this is ram-packed full of speed. It smells delicious. You could always add corn mince if you are vegetarian, and obviously change up your beef stock for vegetable stock or whatever it is that you need to use. But yeah, it's so adaptable and you can just put whatever veg in that you want. So I've had this meal out, obviously not Slimming World friendly. I've had it with baked beans in and all sorts in calves. So yeah, you can put anything in you want to bulk it out. So I'm going to turn this up to 7, bring this to a boil, and then reduce it back down to about 4 and leave it for about 20 minutes, half an hour, and I will come back to you then. So the chilli has been cooking away for 20 minutes and I'm quite happy with how well that has thickened up. So the last step is, if you are having kidney beans, just going to pop these in, give them a stir around, and then cook it for a further 5 minutes. And then that is it. The chilli is done, and you can allow it to cool and then freeze it, and then obviously reheat it up to the right temperature for when you want it. And like I've been saying throughout, jam-packed full of speed, so you could have it with your rice, your chips, or whatever you fancy. And also it is a good SP one as well, so you could have it with some carrot fries for a good SP, or some cauli rice. It's lovely with cauliflower rice as well. So yeah, I hope you liked this recipe, and if you give it a go, and let me know down in the comments. And if there's anything in particular recipe wise that you would like to see, then just let me know and I'll see what I can do. So guys, until the next vlog or the next recipe, take care and stay safe. Bye.